Da-da. Happy Earth Day. Planting trees, planting shrubs, making soil, and planting bulbs. Get to see some pals. Get to go see other food forests. Busy day. Busy, busy, busy. Yep. So first thing is I have to have my coffee. Coffee. Yeah. Oh, it's Earth Day. Yes, it's Earth Day. It's like the best day of the year. But then again, I talked to my other buddy there at another food course yesterday. He says, it's Earth Day every day, Howie. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll give it to you. He's kind of a grumpy guy sometimes, but he's really a good guy. But it's Earth Day. Today I'm planting a lilacs for the pollinators and butterflies. And I'm planting about 100 gladiolas because I like gladiolas. Hummingbirds really like them. And I'm planting, what's that? Dave Knight. I was just at your video of your pawpaw. Thanks for the shout out. Have to leave my calling card. I am present. Very low footprint on the planet. See, a dot. Hey, Dave Knight. That was cool. Little tiny, and Shawnee Gross was on their itty bitty trees. That was pretty cute. Hey, Alan, all the way from the UK. Cheers, Alan. Franny's Farm. Happy Earth Day, Alan. Happy Earth Day, Franny's Farm. That's awesome. I just watched a video of yours, Franny. I can't remember what it was, though. I just crawled out of bed. I slept in. It's 4:39. Generally, I'm up a little earlier. But I actually slept in and had really weird dreams, too. I dreamt my one of my best friends was fighting with my other best friend, and they were loading plants in a truck. I'm like, what? This is crazy. I have a red bud to plant. Ooh, a red bud. Hey, that's the flower red bud. I think those are edible. I can't remember right yet. I haven't had enough coffee. Happy Earth Day. Yes, it is. Good happy Earth Day. And I have, in celebration today, I'm sharing this. This is my fig jam. I mean, it's delicious. This is fig. This is a Desert King fig, and I can almost smell it in there. And I'm going to share that with friends today at the food forest. At another food forest, not this one, but that's okay. And I'm sharing this. I couldn't find a small one because I don't want to open a bigger one, but this is my blueberry jam. Yeah. I'm sharing that today. I never get to eat sugar, okay? So, not that I put any sugar in that. It's raining right now, but it's going to stop and warm up. Oh, yeah, here's the Earth Day and a nice warm day. I have a little bit of eye glaucoma going on. So I have to wear these glasses. Adrian, welcome. My favorite blueberry jam. Yep. And I have another recipe. Here's another recipe called chestnut jam. Yeah. Chestnut jam. Where is it? I'm hoping that I get it in there. Where is it? It's right there. There it is. Chestnut jam. I want to do this one because I'm picking chestnuts this year. So that's the one. This book's an interesting book by New Horizons. It was for disabled people and older people. about selling their crafts and stuff. Oopsie daisy. Howie howie. Yep. Oops. Good to see you. Oops. But yeah, I'm going to try the jam, the fig jam. I mean, this is the bomb. You put this on crepes, right? Make a crepe splattered on there. You don't need anything else on there. Just this. It tastes like summertime. I've only got a very few of those. And this is my jam. I sent one to my friend. And I never heard back about it. I don't know if she ever tried it or... Mine recipe is from Grandma's handwritten recipe book. Oops, is saying hello to Adrian. Well, yeah, this book here is an interesting book. It was designed here, like in this little village here. Recipes and reminiscence of village crafts. This is from like locally. And it's pretty cool. It's, hey, oops, what's going on over there? Got to put the trademark down, man. Helen's tomato relish. I'm going to try that this year because you always got lots of tomatoes. And I like relish. And relish is not cheap. Rhubarb chutney, parsley honey. Never heard of parsley honey before. Yep. By Elizabeth Gurney. And then there's the index. It's not really a big, huge book, but pickle puffs. I mean, you wouldn't think of pickle puffs. Crab mousse, Gouda shorties, puppy chow for people, corned beef cracker spread, shrimp and lobster rolls. I think I've had something like that. Tortilla spirals, bruschetta, cheese ball, pizza burgers, olive and cheese squares. Interesting. Creamy shrimp dip mousse, classic spinach dip, poppy seed loaf, and shrimp pie. Oops. Dave Knight says hello to Oops because Oops is saying hello back. Yeah. I was over on Sew and Tears, Katrina's channel yesterday, and Verna and Mr. Swanson were doing the I'm here present back and forth through the live stream. So I thought I seen it. I went, oh yeah, it's catchy. So I put it on too. But yeah, it's Earth Day, man. So it's my day to recharge for the entire year because it's like 365 days before we have another Earth Day. I don't know how I do it. Earth Day. Over 1 billion people are celebrating today, hey? Making dandelion honey tonight. Oh my God. Does anyone on here make that? It's tasty. I don't think I've ever even heard of that. Sounds good to me, Al. I just broke out these for when I go over to the other food forest. I have a little rye cracker, 2 ingredients, ground rye and water. That's the 2 ingredients. They're made in Germany. They're by Waza Cracker. They're not a bunch of garbage in it. It's the real deal. And I like that. The human body can put up with so much toxic crap from this world. Nature has a funny way of just clean slating it. Usually it's, like a pole shift and huge 6,000 foot wave goes around the planet and then we're good for another 100,000 years. It's too funny, but real. Isn't that nice to have that coffee? Woohoo! Real coffee. Ended up, I bought my friend a bag of organic coffee, my favorite coffee. I usually buy it once in a while when it's on sale. It's $20 for 300 grams of coffee. It's like, holy schmoly, man. I buy organic coffee. I get 2.2 pounds for $14. But there's this special kind. It's called Cup of Joe. It's $18 for 300 grams. So I bought one for my friend. I'm going to mail it out soon. because I'm downloading a lot of my salmon and stuff. I've never heard of dandelion honey tonight. Does anyone on here? Al, you intrigued my intriguiness. I'm intrigued. Making dandelion honey tonight. Dandelion honey. That's amazing. There's a lot of dandelions right now. Where I'm going today, there's a hillside. It's about let's say half acre, maybe a little less, of of um, dandelions. Yeah, there's nothing but dandelions. Yeah. But then see the other half of the property, I made a food forest. Well, I kind of put it in these kids. Well, they're not kids; they're 60 years old now, and they've made a nice food forest. I bought them this year. I bought them a kiwi, a Pacific kiwi, one that grows here really well. Oh! The deer reached inside my hedge and chewed on my kiwi. I was just like, come on. Come on, I hid it away in here from you. They're quite the little sniffers on them, and you can't see it. You don't even know it's there. It's growing inside the hedge up a Japanese plum tree, sugar plum tree. So the sugar plum trees are probably about that big around, and it's growing on the inside of it. And they reached through the hedge, and you could see where the deer nibbled on it. I went, well, at least they didn't kill it. Is this dandelion infused honey? I don't know. I had dandelion coffee. I have some. I have some dandelion coffee. Where I'm going today, the couple there, they collect wild foods and stuff. So that's going to be really cool. And they collect dandelion coffee. Al's life. You strip the yellow part from the flower, steep overnight, and strain the liquid. For over 800 milliliters of liquid, you add 200 grams of sugar. Make like jam in a pan, then jar and seal. It's not as thick as jam. Well, thanks for the recipe, Alan. That was very kind of you to put that on there. Yeah, yeah, that sounds very, very easily done. I bet it tastes good. I've never even heard of it. No, hey, there's another friend of mine. She does something with dandelion syrup or something, or jam or something. Yeah, Mandy, make it by Mandy. Yes, I call that a sugar syrup. Very tasty. Oh, I bet. Hey, Alan, I bet that is. Hey there. Hey, I should say your name more often. Happy Earth Day. Isn't it cool? It's Earth Day. Yes. I'm planting bulbs in today. Bunch of different kinds. I'm planting dahlias today. I'm a little early on them, but it's warm enough here. Good morning, Andy. Oops, yes, that's it. Over the pond there, you folks call it syrup. Over the pond. Homestead in rural France. Hiya, Food Forest Permaculture, and everyone. Happy Earth Day. Yay. Happy Earth Day to you too as well. Hey, Wild Edibles. Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Yep, and my friend Jewel make dandelion jam. Nice. I'm having today my fig jam. My Desert King fig jam is delicious. And my blueberry jam. Here it is. I'm having that. Yep. Dave Knight says hello to Mandy. Mandy says hello, Dave, or hi, Dave. Knock, knock. It's Dave. Dave who? Dave Knight. Wild edibles, very nice. Yeah, I'm having that at the other food forest. I'm visiting one food forest, and then I'm visiting a public food forest, which is very rare. It's down on Haltane. The entire street block is nothing but a food forest. I contributed plants years ago. I want to go by and see it, see what's going on there. Wild edibles, good to see you, Wild. Al, I'm on the Mississippi River in Tennessee. Just a okay. Franny's Farm. Good morning, Wild and Mandy. Hey, G Mama grows harden in the garden. Happy Earth Day, Earthling Howie. Thank you kindly, G Mama. If you don't know G Mama, you should get over there, sign up, subscribe. Pretty cool person. Very cool person. Happy Earth Day to you. I hope you have the best Earth Day ever. Cheers. Happy Earth Day. Cheers. I don't have much, but I'll drink to that. I'll be right back. I have plants to. Oh, hey, Shawnee Grows. Happy Earth Day. Oops. I have plants to dig up and share this week. Dave Knight ended up purchasing pawpaw, Triabola acinnamina, I think. Yeah. Oops. And okay, I need a coffee. I just woke up like about 20 minutes ago and I had this weird dream that two of my good friends are fighting over loading plants in this truck. I'm like, what the heck? Good morning, Wild Edibles. I put an ad up on Facebook seeing if anyone wants plants. Nice. Yay, planting. Oh, yeah, you're planting trees today. Oh, hey, did you get your trees? I'll wait before I go get my coffee. Yeah. Oh, hogging the channel here. Invite. Copy. Paste. There you go. Met someone who had to move in winter. I want a pawpaw, but don't have space for two. You have to have two, G Mama. Dave Knight bought two. You got to have two. I'm planting my fruit cocktail tree today. I'm planting my fruit. Oh, right. You have the several stone fruit, I think you were saying. I'll be right back. In case you're in the basement, just hang on. I just need coffee. 3 trees are not here yet. Bloody Amazon Prime. Homestead in rural France. I got a blueberry and some borage to plant today. Nice. I love borage. I like the little flowers off there. And then it kind of tastes like cucumber with a slight ocean taste to it. I love borage. I got to get coffee. Cheers to Mother Earth. Cheers, Mother Earth. Thank you for not shaking us off. Your little blue marble going through space. Oh, I have 2 borage plants. Bees love them. They are flowering. Nice. I don't have any borage plants. Usually a bunch come up by themselves, but none did this year. Yeah, homestead. Yeah, they're lovely. Vanilla, strawberry, hydrangea. That's right. I forgot you had that. I've never even heard of that. Cheers in Royal France. Waiting on the plum and hazelnut trees. Smart to have those hazelnut trees. You always have you have something over that hunger gap during the winter. Well, and plum make pretty good jam. The ground is still frozen here, so I'm going to do some wood chipping and mix with manure today. Smart. I was looking at my cocktail tree is Meyer lemon and limequat. Nice. I was looking at the mound yesterday and I was going to plant wild edibles corn. And I reached in and it's not quite warm enough, but it was warm, but wasn't quite warm enough. You know, Oops says Shawnee Grows. I have 5 apricot trees about 15 years old that have never even flowered. Cutting them down, replacing with apple and hazelnut. Oh, wow. Sometimes that happens, but if you've got stone fruit, you can graft onto the one that's not flowering with other stone fruit onto that. Hey, so just saying. Apricots are finicky. I have one here that I had two that I grew from a pit, flowered, and you'd get like one apricot, two apricots. I'm like, okay. So I made way for another one after growing them for like 15 years. Cut one down. I just had enough. And then the other one I took halfway down, and it looks like I'm going to get fruit. I'm like, it never ends. Sometimes something traumatic happens to the bush, it'll throw into fruiting. I did cut down 2 apple trees that were doing nothing after 10 years that I grew from seed. And then I have other apple trees that are just loaded, and it's a once you open up like with a seed or a pit, you don't know what you're going to get, but it's always fun and a surprise. Yeah, 3 different kinds of hazel here, Homestead and Real Friends. Excellent to coppice, man. I have no idea what that means. My grapefruit tree has dropped all its fruit. I think it's stressed from the move, so I won't be getting any this season. Oh, interesting. You moved. Oh, wow. I better put up the invite again. It's Earth Day. I'm kind of hoping someone drops by. Copy. Paste. There. I don't know. Yeah, I might have missed someone. Yep. Copice is cutting off so it grows better. Oh. I never even heard of it. Mr. Thielen. Hi there, Howie. Happy Earth Day, Mr. Thielen from Australia. Of course, he's had his Earth Day already. It's probably nighttime where he is. Yes, the plants are more stressed than me. Happy Earth Day. Yay. God bless this planet. It's the only one we got. Or Mother Earth bless this planet, whatever your belief is. But it's Earth Day. I've got a lot of stuff lined up. 10 p.m. I figured it was nighttime. Every other time at 5 o'clock in the morning, it was pretty late evening. I feed the neighborhood squirrels with my hazelnut tree. Nice. You know what I do? I know where every single hazelnut tree is within a 5-block radius. Every year I gather them up from the ground, and I actually sit there, crack some open, and eat them right there. I just eat them. I even eat them from the tree itself. I like them. I like that when they're soft shelled and you can crack them really easy, and it's really nice food. It's really healthy for you. Oh, Dave Knight's here. Is Dave Knight waving? Waving. There you go, Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight.
Good morning, Howie.
Good morning, kind sir.
I got my shirt on, walk softly on the earth.
Got mine on.
I got it from a Muncie woman at a Delaware powwow last year. So
really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Native people to New York State. So
fantastic. I saw your pawpaws.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Well, we gave some seeds to that guy last year. He always was looking for seeds, so I went out and bought some. He's been doing it for 30, 40 years, so he's better at it than me.
I bought 2 and planted them 10 years ago. They're probably about 7 feet tall, but I bought 2 little tiny little ones, like what the itty bitty trees that Shoni grows, called the itty bitty tree grows. That was kind of fun. And I planted them, and they're about 5.5, 6 feet tall. They don't grow real fast.
Well, he said it should start producing fruit in about 3 to 5 years, depending on location. So
I wish I had his magic wand. But
Well,
I
they're
did,
native to here. They're my part of Ontario anyway. So
yeah. Well, they last for about 3 days once they start,
yeah,
ripening.
don't put
And
them near your house because they stink.
really, I didn't know. Oh, that's right. They stink like rotten meat.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. I
Some
forgot
people hang
that.
rotten meat up there to attract the beetles and stuff to pollinate them, but you got to have two
You gotta have to.
within 30 feet of each other.
Right, right. And partial shade, I heard.
Yeah, yeah. They're kind of an understory tree.
Yeah. There's a guy here that grows them, and he prunes them to like a fruit tree. But if you
Yeah.
if you leave them, they grow super tall.
Yeah, I
And
have seen them in the wild, like on the edge of a bush, like 30 feet tall, but it's
yeah.
hard to get the fruit too. So,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, it tastes like banana custard.
yeah, yeah, we had
Yeah.
some last year.
Yeah, I had them when I was on the East Coast. Actually, it was in Southern Ontario,
Yep.
and for about 3 days they were freezing them. They were like taking it out, the custard out, and then just putting it in a container, filling the container, and popping it in the fridge, eating it
Some,
like ice cream.
yeah, some people it bothers their stomach, but there's something in it. But I don't know. I haven't had a problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's an exotic fruit here. There are guys that are growing it, and a couple of ladies too. But for some reason, men like to grow pawpaws.
Well, my area of Ontario has a lot of Carolinian trees, which is like East Coast. It's because the native people here had canoes and they traded across Lake Erie with the other natives in Ohio. So
Right,
spread around.
right. Yeah, if you plant pawpaw, just plant them away from the house on the other side of the
Yeah.
property. You'll never smell it.
My dad had ginkgos, and oh man, the fruit on them stunk too. But
Yeah, yeah. Brain food.
they're another tree that had survived the ice age too, just like pawpaw.
Yeah, yeah. Ginkgo biloba. There's a village down here beside this village I live in, and it's nothing but ginkgo trees, females, because there's a female and a male, eh?
Yeah.
And yeah, and and I was walking by there one day. I never ever walked into that village because I just didn't do it for some reason. So I decided to walk in through this village. There's probably a couple of hundred people that live in there. It's an older person's village. So when I'm walking through, I'm like, I'm in heaven. It's ginkgo biloba nuts, man. And oh God, I've collected thousands of them. It seemed like, and I was running for home. Worst tasting nut I ever ate. I ate the other places, but they need to age.
Well, the leaves are good. So the woman that bought my parents' house, I'm going to go over and
Yep.
get some leaves in the fall from her. For tea, it has its
Yeah.
some properties that you want once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too bad smelling the pawpaw. It's not overwhelming or anything. But
No, but yeah, it does attract a lot of Japanese beetles and all sorts of stuff like that, though. So
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
putting them away too from the garden, so all the Japanese beetles will go over there.
Yeah, they do attract those. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. They're kind of a weird looking space alien thing. Whenever I seen a couple of them here, I'm like, what the heck's that? And I wouldn't kill anything, so I just kind of shoot them away. You go away now.
Yeah, well, we got lots of them here, but the pawpaws in the bush, they'll take over like a thicket. They just keep sprouting out,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they'll take right over if you let them.
Well, you know what? I years ago, this guy, he gave me. I was looking for them anyway. The Canadian sun joke, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to be really careful with these. They take over." And you know what I said to him? I hope so. At least I'm eating something. It's not so bad when you hear that it takes over. If you're utilizing that plant or that tuber, it not really. And if you don't like sunchokes, just pull them out. They'll never grow back.
Well, a couple of years ago, somebody put Japanese bamboo over on the laneway.
That's bad.
Taking over the hill, and it was creeping on my neighbor's property. So I hit it with a stock chopper about 4 times a year. So
yeah,
that's
a bad one.
And it takes over all the native stuff.
Yeah. The understory here is almost nothing but pawpaw. Oops says, oh, aren't you lucky?
Well, he's more in a range down in Tennessee. I'm at the northern end of it.
You are. It's mostly on the East Coast too,
Yeah, yeah.
but they do grow here. And there's like I know one guy that his favorite thing for 3 days a year is to have those pawpaw. But there's many kinds of pawpaw. Hey,
Yeah, there's four variations. Some are extinct, but
yeah, and they freely hybridize and make new ones.
yeah, and they don't like fire. Like if there's a fire, they don't survive.
Nope, you're right. That's why they like a little swampy water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Japanese knotweed root has uses. Yeah, yeah, it is edible too, Japanese knotweed.
Oh, but it takes over.
Yeah, you can't stop it. It pushes through pavement, concrete, and everything
I'm
else.
fighting it and Phragmites because my neighbor, he cleared his land. It used to be cattails when I was a kid, the native stuff, and now it's all Phragmites, and it's
Yeah.
battling it.
You know what? I've found very little things survive 10% acidic acid.
Yeah.
You know, it in that hot sun, you take that jug of vinegar, that industrial cleaning vinegar, put it in the freezer and get it real ice cold. Then when you take the cap off, put a little pinhole in it. Then it's an automatic squirter. Hey, and I go out there, and everybody's driveway around here is growing dandelion, all kinds of stuff. Right? Mine's beautiful.
Well, my driveway since the 1950s has had oil buried in it, and the plants still keep coming back. That's what my uncle did to get rid of his oil. He dug a hole and put it in the driveway. So. That's what they used to do.
Do you know Ontario has the highest rates of cancer in Canada?
Well, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
If you ever been to Detroit River and stood across from the Ford Rouge plant, it's the nice smell of F-150s being made.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Hey, I got to plant some more cattail seeds. Homestead in rural France says and they haven't come up. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know what? Cattails are the oldest plant on the planet. Cattails. It's a strange thing, and it's great for starting a fire or pollen off of it. It's awesome for making pancakes.
Well, it's pretty well disappeared from here because the Phragmites has taken over.
I know, right? And it's tough to kill that if you can kill it.
Long Point, Ontario, they're down the other end of Lake Erie. It took over the whole park, and they're in there with backhoes digging it out and spraying it with Roundup, trying to get rid of it.
And it ain't gonna do it.
No wildlife lives in there. They said, like, no wildlife can live in there because even if you cut it off, it's really sharp. So if you go over behind my place, there's like no wildlife in there now.
Jeez.
Wow. But the beavers are back.
Deer?
Beavers.
You know, we don't have many beavers here for some reason. We have beavers, but like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, I mean, beavers were everywhere, damming up a creek everywhere. Now you rarely see a beaver house or a beaver dam. Rarely.
Well, they've come back here in the last 10 years. I see them running across my lawn. My dog comes home with a little one in his mouth, or, you know.
I know my niece lives in Ontario, and her dog killed this baby beaver, and she's freaking out about it. And I'm like, it's okay. She's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, well, okay. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. But some people get really intense about shit, right? It's like, okay, all right. You know,
one across the road trying to get to the other pond across the road, and my son picked it up and skinned it, so it was dead already. Roadkill. So
roadkill. Did he eat it?
Oh, I don't know. He ate it, but he skinned it. Fur's nice and soft.
Homestead in rural France says they have nutria there. Ate his water lily. Well, eat the nutria. They're delicious, I hear. Yeah, just a big bunny rabbit that runs around the swamp. I was reading in Charles Darwin's memoirs yesterday, and they were hunting carabara, kind of like a nutria. And these things are 100 pounds. And he always carried his gun wherever he went because it's 1830 and he's traveling around the world, so he had all kind of pistols, and he had two black powder muskets and 5 or 6 pistols, and he would get in gunfights. Everybody thought, oh, it's Charles Darwin, sweet, lovely guy. Don't cross him, man. He'd kick your ass. But I mean, he would go and he would to Terra del Fuego around the South America, and he stopped at every little port he could. And anyway, I've read his original memoirs. I even had his original memoirs that were duplicated, and I donated it to the Vancouver Library. They were very happy to get it because it had actual paintings, like lithographs and stuff. And I found it at the church was chucking it out of the library, and it was going in the dumpster. And I said, I've heard of that Charles Darwin. This is like a go billion years ago. And I'm like, oh, yeah. In church, you never hear of Charles Darwin.
Yeah, well, the bay in front of me in Lake Erie is called Pigeon Bay after the passenger pigeons.
Yeah.
So when my ancestors got here in the 1790s, they were so thick that when they're trying to clear land, they'd eat everything. So they blasted them out of existence in 100 years. So.
My relatives came to the East Coast in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia.
Oh, yeah.
They were the first wave of settlers that came there. And when I started reading memoirs and stuff, I was pretty sickened what they did.
Well, mine were from Pennsylvania, and I hit the Ohio River during 1777, and there was still wood bison in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But then we brought to Michigan, got captured. So that's why we're here.
Yeah. Some of my relatives went to Pennsylvania too, and some of them went a little further south to the Carolinas, but a lot of them settled in Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland was the first land that very first, right after it was discovered and mapped by Jacques Cartier. My family showed up just after that. There's places they're named after them, but I had a hell of a time when I was in university reading about what they did there. I was you just don't see that on the news at 6 o'clock, and I was revolted by some of the things they did that at times I had to go and just sit down in the forest and go, this is where I come from? Ew. And I was just like, wow. And there's places that are named after my ancestors and stuff. And I was going to go there until I read what they did. And I thought, screw you. I wouldn't go visit your grave. I just wouldn't. I don't care. I value human life a lot. Hey, so when I seen that, I just like, you sicken me, man. I got a conscience, right? But some of them came here, and they were the only white people on that part of the land. There was no other. There was no law. There was no. So one of my ancestors was a magistrate. So and then other ancestors were like fishermen, loggers, and they would have a logging ticket that they were allowed to cut timber for the British Navy and stuff, special spars and poles for their ships and stuff.
Point Pelee was a naval reserve because it sticks out in Lake Erie, and Amherstburg was with the port.
Yeah.
Just fall trees and pull them back to Amherstburg.
I was just looking on the History Channel about a Stonehenge that's underneath one of the Great Lakes there, like Huron, I think.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Well, Georgian Bay was like a dam, and it busts, and that's kind of what made the Detroit River and the St. Clair River when all that water busted.
Right.
Made the channels.
It's funny where we all come from, eh? Planet Earth.
In general.
Can't get away from it, hey?
Nope.
I was just watching the show on the Anunnaki or whatever they're called. They're the Sumerian text and stuff, how they figure that they got here. I was just like, oh my God. You know, all these stories, but then they left writings of it. And I was just like, wow, if you write about it, there must be something to it, you know.
When I was in Kentucky, they had a big display at this museum at the Blue Licks about Audubon, all his paintings he did before all these species disappeared and stuff. It was kind of neat. So
Interesting stuff. I've been reading about Charles Darwin, and he stopped in the Pogo Islands or something like that, and they're all whacking dodo birds and eating them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're extinct, eh? Because they were so friendly. They would just stand there, hello, fellow Earthling, whack.
Well, when Daniel Boone crossed Cumberland Gap in 1769, it was nobody had really been over there except a couple long hunters. By 1783, the wood bison was extinct because it was used as a weapon of war. If you kill them all, then it denies everybody food, you know.
Funny how that's going on today, hey?
So it took 10 years to get rid of the wood bison.
I like that there was these giant bison. Have you ever seen the dinosaur giant bison?
No.
Oh, they're massive, man. They're like 10 times the size of an elephant.
Yeah.
These things are massive. Like they make the woolly mammoth look like chump change. Yeah. And beavers too were the size of freaking Ford trucks. And
yeah.
I mean, you really had to be careful a million years ago.
Well, land between the lakes, Kentucky, Tennessee border, there's a park, and they got bison roaming around, and there's people out in the field taking pictures. Like, hey, I hope they don't charge you.
Hey, I went to a relative's land way up northern British Columbia, and they had a buffalo herds and stuff, you know, and then they had this one buffalo that they nobody shot, hey, and it was a male, and he was so huge that he went like this. This is how big he was. He couldn't run away.
It's like the Ted Nugent song, "The Great White Buffalo."
They would weed out these buffalo that had a purpley black haired color on them. They would show up every second or third generation. And I remember the nephew there, he would take them ones for the pelts. I'm like, well, why don't you just leave them? He goes, oh no, that's the one that everybody wants. And I'm like, well, okay. And he'd get out there and he'd give you all the meat or whatever. He just wanted the pelt. And it kind of reminded me of like what the white guys did to the Indians to get rid of the food source, like you were saying.
Well, yeah, it was
weapon of war.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when you think about something like that. But you know what? There are programs now that are bringing back some buffalo to the plains. There are programs and introducing wolves back into Yellowstone and stuff like that. That's a wonderful thing. They clean up the sick and dying little critters.
Well, when I moved here, it was just a vacant field, not a tree. I planted a lot of trees, and now I got deer, and they're all the environment's back, and there's deer and coyotes, and the ecosystem's balanced again. You know?
Nice. Homestead and Rural Francis saying Happy Earth Day and excellent chat, Dave and Howie. So I've been to his channel a couple times, and I've been encouraging him to put some lawn sprinklers onto his pond and throw in some trout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do here. They just dig a hole with a backhoe, then they put clay all in it, fill it with water, and put a sprinkler on it. Throw in some smolts, and bing, bada, boom. 2 or 3 years later, they've got trout. I was hiking through this farmland when I was a kid. You know, you just hike through farmland. Nobody ever said anything to you. And I come upon this pond with fishing rods there with lures on it.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow. So I picked it up. I cast out there, I caught one, and I was with my brother, my little brother. And I caught another one. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to catch any more. So I put the fishing rod back in the lure, and I take my little sack of fish with my little brother. And then I look up, the guy's standing there watching us. And I'm like, I just caught a couple trout. He goes, I know. I'm like, it's okay. He's like, well, of course. That's why the rods are there, for a traveler like you to come by, pick up the rod, catch himself a trout.
Yeah.
I thought, what a wonderful world. Hey, now, not everybody's going to be like that. they're going to smoke you and shoot you with saltpeter or something, you know? Like,
well, northeast Ohio, because it's so flat, like Indiana, people dig these ponds and they have boats and they stock them with fish because there's like no rivers, so that's what they use, water retention.
Yeah. Mother Earth Garden Club's here saying hello, and Homestead in rural France says that he's got to do that about the trout in the pond. I mean, if I had a pond in my backyard, man, I'd have it teeming with trout. I'd be eating trout for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My smoker be going. Yeah. But apparently he's having difficulty with the legality of it. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to do things without permission. Okay? Yeah. Simple as that. If you got to sit there under someone's thumb your entire life and wish you had done that, not for me, man. No way. Every creek around here has got trout in it, even though they say there's no trout in that creek. And I'm like, I don't think that's right, because I've been catching trout there since I was old enough to crawl.
Well, the next couple of weeks we'll be out in front of my house 1,000 feet off the beach catching pickerel, walleye, because they come in close, 20 feet of water, feed off the little fish coming out of the stream. So if you get out there, you can get 6 easy.
Yeah. My favorite trout is the Eastern Brook speckled trout. That's, to me, is just the tastiest thing ever. They actually stock this lake here, and I didn't go there. It was called Allison Lake. It was up in Merritt in the interior British Columbia. I didn't go there. I heard about it, but I didn't go there. Several years went by, and this American guy, he owned a cabin right at the north end of the lake. Why he bought a cabin or built it at the north end of the lake, I'll never understand, because there was never any sunlight there. So anyway, I went there with my kids, and the highway 5 to Merritt up to Okanagan went right through the lake on the other side of the lake. So I stopped there. I caught a trout. So I grabbed my kids. I said, okay, grab the poles. Let's go. Oh, geez, we're catching all kinds of trout. And all of a sudden, I look up and here's the fishing game guy. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's he want? And I knew him too. And he was like, oh, you kids, bring me those fishing poles. I said, you kids come over beside me and stay beside me. You're not going near him. And he was up on this bank, but he didn't want to come down the bank. And he's like, bring them fish up here and them poles. I said, no, I'm not. And he's like, yeah, you're under arrest. I said, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, you're not allowed to fish here. I said, yes, I am. And he's like, why do you feel that you need to fish here? I said, well, you see these 3 little indigenous native girls right here that I adopted? This is their territory. And he's like, oh, I'm seizing the fish anyway. He ran down and took the bag of fish and left. And I'm like, you dirty bastard. That's all I could think of. So we just started fishing and got another half a garbage bag full and went home with them. But what a character. But I run into him another time. I was out in the bush, way the hell out in the bush. He's standing there with a policeman in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm with a bunch of other guys. We all got guns. They got guns. I'm like, what the hell? And they're like, come over here. And I'm like, no, you come here. Why do I have to go where you're going? I was all legit where we were. And the guy that owned the land, who was a very good friend of mine. And and the guy I was with was a sniper from the Canadian Army. And he's like, I'm not going over there. I said, neither am I. And then the cop, I recognized the cop. He was a really good guy too. Hey. And I said, hey, how's it going? But we're about 50, 60 yards apart. We're talking to each other. And you got to yell 50, 60 yards to hear the guy. He's like, you guys are hunting here on this land. And I'm like, yeah. I said, we have permission to be here. And he's like, what are you hunting for? I said, well, I'm not going to tell you that. I said, I hunt for whatever I want. Right. And whatever I got a tag for, And he's like, well, I need to see your tags and your hunting license. I said, no, you don't. I said, no one's doing anything wrong here. Have you seen a crime? He's like, no, but we have a report that there's been hunting here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that nosy, no good neighbor of my buddies that's called you. And he's like, well, yeah, the neighbor called. I said, well, go talk to the neighbor. He's the complainant. Don't come here and talk to me. I've done nothing wrong. I haven't done anything wrong at all. And my buddy starts walking away, and the fishing game guy, he starts screaming for him to stay. So he's walking away, he's giving him the old Trudeau thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, go bother someone that's doing something wrong.
Well, the conservation officers have a lot of power here in Ontario, more than police on certain things.
Well, good.
Else. So,
in some cases, you need that because there are poachers. Here we've got people that take 500 gooey ducks off the sandbar. Meanwhile, there's none left. And I don't mean to be like racist or anything, but there's certain people that come from other countries that just clean up the entire beach here.
Yeah.
And you're looking at them and going, hey, you're only allowed 16 of those. Meanwhile, they got sacks.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, not only that, it's red tide right now, but they don't care. They don't give a rat's ass. The only time they care is when they're in handcuffs. Then they care. But until that happens, there's no,
Well, that's why I get out fishing in Lake Erie now, because we could have the algae bloom coming out of the Maumee River over by Toledo. So when that comes into the Western Basin, man, you don't want to drink that water, nothing. It's just like, I'm not going fishing.
My little niece just told me about a water situation in in Manitoba. And it was pretty grim. She's a school teacher in northern Manitoba. And it was pretty grim what she was saying. She hasn't been able to drink the water for over 6 months there.
Yeah.
Because the water plant broke down, and now they all have water flown in. Get this now, flown in to the reservation. Why not just fix the bloody water plant? Apparently, there's no money.
Well, yeah.
There's no money to fix the water plant. Well, I wouldn't give a rat's ass if there's no money. I would improvise and have a bottle drive. Sell a couple of boats or whatever the hell you got to do to get water.
Well, Native people, the most important thing is water. Water is everything. Water is life.
Yeah. Hey, you owe me a Coca-Cola. Not that I drink Coca-Cola. But Lewis is here from the Marshmallow Man, Puff Puff Pass. Yeah, I wish I could.
Those things in Brantford?
Yeah. Yeah. How are things in Brantford? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the Brantford gardeners in here too. She's from there. She's pretty cool with all her growings. Hey, have you ever gone?
Yeah, probably about 300 miles from.
Yeah. Bye, Mother Earth Garden Club. See you. Take care. Good night. Mr. Thielen's leaving. We're being abandoned there, Mr. Knight.
Oh, well. I gotta go outside and plant trees and get the garden and open up my greenhouse.
I bet, hey.
We're going to be 70 Fahrenheit this week. So
yeah. 70. Ooh, that's pretty nice. You can't go wrong with that. We're good. We're pretty cold. Last night we're at 3 Celsius. Yeah,
it's been 5 or 6 overnight lows, like 48 or something. So
right now it's 5 Celsius.
Well, I'm warmer than you.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? You know where the warmest place in Canada is? It's not where I live. It's not where you live. And it's a bit shocking, actually. It's Port Alberni. Up the island.
Oh, yeah.
It gets more sun and more heat than anywhere else in Canada. I didn't know. I thought it would be like the Okanagan or something like that. They do get more heat in the summer, but it's more likely that you would have no winter over on the west coast of British Columbia called Port Alberni. But I didn't know all that. I was just like,
the last few years, I've had over 30 Celsius days than I can remember. You get like 30 a year. We used to get like 6.
Yeah. It's nice here. It's really nice here. I get 2 weeks of actual winter here. I get 2 months of could be frosty at any time.
Yeah. I'm usually like that, but this year was the exception because I got a lot of cold from the north coming down every couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oops is saying it's hitting 85 Fahrenheit where Oops is.
Well, see, I get Oops' weather. It comes up the Mississippi River, and I'm at the northern end of it up here in the Midwest, like, the Great
Yeah.
Lakes states. So.
I was quite surprised actually that your weather where you are. I've been watching your channel for a couple of years now, and I was quite surprised actually how early you plant, how late you harvest, and what you
Well,
can
Lake
grow
Erie,
there.
it's a marine environment like you.
Yeah,
Lake Erie holds and retains the water.
yeah,
Where I
yeah.
live along the shore is a little different than if you go inland like 5 miles.
Right,
So,
right. If I'm missing anybody leaving, happy Earth Day. Sorry, talk to my buddy Dave Knight. You're in a rocking chair, old man?
yep.
Ah, I don't have one of those. Oh, I do have one, but it's in the back room. That's right. I never use it. I might have to use that one day soon too.
Well, I've got one upstairs. It's from the 1870s, the great grandmother. So I got all sorts of antiques that I raided. Nobody
Nice.
wanted them, so I took them.
I have a couple here, but none from my family, from an in-law family.
Uh,
And I do have my mother's table and two of her chairs. And my sister willed that to me. My sister passed away a few years ago. And my little nieces went over and just raided my sister's place when her husband was gone because he was a cantankerous old bastard. And so they just went and took the oak table, the oak chairs. He come home, there's no table and
yeah.
chairs. I got along good with him. I mean, he would make his homemade wine and smoke his cigars out in the shop, right? He had a little shop there. And he'd sit there with his pistola, and rats and mice would go by, and he would cap them, you know. And I'd always holler, "Hey, I'm not a mouse." I got along with him, but other people didn't get along with him. But I got along with him. He never ever bothered me. Well, he never really bothered anybody. He just didn't. He wouldn't do anything for anyone. He wouldn't. I used to go fishing with him. We'd catch 100-pound halabuts and 50-pound salmon, and I never had a problem with the guy. But I got along with him. But he didn't like some people. I'll tell you, holy, it's hard to get along with someone that has mental health like that. Very difficult. It's very difficult because they're not on par with you. It's like, you know, but they're your fellow earthlings. So I'm lucky. I get along with just about anybody. There's in this village. There's a couple of characters I wouldn't say hello to, but everybody else I'll say hello to. I had a pretty good Easter Sunday. It we had breakfast here. We had West Coast eggs Benny with the smoked salmon locks.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And so I had some brought to the old people in the home. You know, I made up extra plates in the hospital, the guys that can't get out. So that was pretty good. They were pretty happy to see West Coast eggs Benny delivered in the hospital to them. You just don't get that anywhere.
My wife, I worked 4 days straight on the advanced polls for the election. So she was like 12, 14 hours a day for 4 days. So.
Wow, she must got lots of money.
Yeah, well, I'm working next Monday for the election. I'm working too. So.
Well, you'll be getting a good fat check. My buddy here's doing that. He gets $800.
Yep.
You know, that's not a lot of money, but it's not a little either.
A 14-hour day when you're retired. Oh well.
Yeah, it's like
I got the rest of the summer to rest.
Yeah. Hey, pays for the insurance and gas for the vehicle.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna start hitting the road with the van and doing some traveling. So
I see you put in solar panel on the van. I was just like,
yeah, I had a 50-watt, and those flexible ones degrade, but I didn't really want a permanent one, so I bought a new one.
Right.
But I only put it on when I'm camping. It's not like it's on there all the time. So
yeah. Oops is playing it on pretty thick with the dots there that they're present. I have to put one back. Just got to do it. Oh, there's a new thing.
He says he's from Wellington County, so that's up more by a lower gorge and north of Guelph, I think.
Yeah,
but still on the Grand River.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, here it's a smattering of lakes and rivers here wherever you go. It's not like, you're on the prairies, you can drive and drive, or in Ontario, you got a lot of lakes there.
250,000, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Here it's a smattering. There's some right here, some over here, and you could drive for a long time. And what it is a lot of them is runoff lakes. They're runoff water. They're not like springs and fed and stuff like that. But there are some that are spring fed, and some are hot spring fed.
Oh yeah.
So some stupid person decides to release the tropical fish. So when you go fishing in like Wolf Lake in the Okanagan, you don't know what you're going to catch. Catch black moors, goldfish,
Yeah.
All colored fish. You're like, what the hell is this? And I tried eating them, but they weren't very good at all.
Well, it's like we're in a lower gorge and we're fishing on the Grand River, and all of a sudden we got this great big pike. That was cool, but we put it back because they're boaty and
Well, I don't mind pike just coming out of winter, but after that,
Yeah.
I'm not a pike fan. I'm a walleye fan.
Yeah, well, there's lots of them in front of me, and it's the best place is Lake Erie, Western Lake Erie for them. So.
Yeah, yeah. Here we have cutthroat trout that come from the ocean. Those are delicious. We have Cowichan and brown trout, which is very rare, and you're not allowed to keep them. But sometimes you don't know. You think, oh, it must be a cutthroat or a hybrid. Like they call them cut bows. And it's a cutthroat trout. And why do they call it cutthroat trout? It's got 2 orange gills.
Oh.
And they can live here in the lakes all year round or come up from the ocean, and you can catch. I've caught them often from shore. You see them there, jump up there. So there's like a couple of hundred right there. So you run down the beach and it's like a football game.
Yeah.
And you cast in front of them, and
they're trying to keep the Asian carp that fly out of the Great Lakes. But if they ever get in there, put a battery in there and get a net and just cruise, and then just catch them when they're coming out of the water.
Yeah, electricity in the water, they'll fly right out.
Yeah, they'll fly right out. You just got to drive with a net and catch them. I see guys doing that in the States on the rivers.
They have Elk Lake just not far from me, and they put in all kind of rainbow trout in there every year from the hatchery. Well, they're only this big, okay? And there's a problem with that. There's bigger like carp, Asian snakehead carps, and all kinds of weird crap in there. Well, they just feeding them. So someone actually got the bright idea. Let's grow them a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But this one guy off of YouTube, he came here. He's like, "Oh, I'm a world-class bass fisherman." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he got a hotel room up the road, and I was going to go fishing, but the winds weren't right. I was going to take him fishing. And then I checked out his channel. He really is a world bass fisherman, world champion or whatever. And I'm not a bass fan at all. I like my salmon. I'm spoiled rotten.
Well, I'm going to go put my boat in this afternoon, take her for a cruise down some creeks just to see how she's running for the year. So.
Yep.
But it's perfect. It's just a little John boat, but it's perfect for the little lakes up north. You can go over top places where other people can't go.
Yeah. Here there's some lakes you're not allowed to put a boat on.
Yeah.
There's some lakes here you can put a boat on, but you have a cleaning station.
Yeah. Well,
you have to clean it.
Yeah.
Because of this milfoil.
The zebra mussels and stuff like that here in the Great Lakes.
Yeah, there's here in BC, if you come here with your boat, be prepared to have it inspected.
Mm.
Yeah, there's rules, and so and not only that, they're really sticky on boat operators now. Anything with even electric trolling motor, doesn't matter. You got to have your boating license.
Oh, I've gotten boating license. I was thinking about getting a trolling motor because some conservation areas, they don't want gas motors anymore.
No, here you're not allowed to have a gas motor on the lakes.
Yeah,
not all of them are like that though, but some are. You don't want to do that. Like up island, it's pretty wild out there. Like it's really wild still in British Columbia.
Well, now they've got the good lithium batteries. It's not like you can have like 4 batteries that weigh 100 pounds in your boat for the trolling motor. So
yeah, on the north coast, nobody cares or does anything. I mean, you better have a gas motor.
Yeah, just in case.
There's thousands of islands in the archipelago here, hey, up along the coast, and it's pretty tough if you want to live on one of them. I mean, the bristlecone pine does not go straight up. It's bent like this and like that because of the wind from the north.
Oh yeah.
And it's windswept islands, but there's thousands of them. I mean, you could get lost in there for years and
Well,
nobody
you
ever
could be
finds
like the old man in the sea. You catch on and just keep going,
it. Dude, I'm telling you, it's called the Broughton Archipelago. That's one of the biggest archipelagos here.
Yeah.
But they've got the San Juan Archipelago, the Southern Gulf Islands group. I am. But as you get up along the coast, there's places there.
Port Hardy.
There's no habitation. In Port Hardy, there's a bit of habitation. I got a relative that owns big, huge chunks of land, and they catch lots of fish and stuff. But once you get past Port Hardy, now that's on Vancouver Island. But if you're over onto the coast of the mainland, there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
There's just vast fjords and the best fishing you'll ever see in your life because nobody lives there.
Yeah.
All the natives that did live there, they were all brought into the cities and put onto reservations. Like when Emily Carr went up along the coast and painted the Haida and all the different nations and stuff, that's all gone.
Huh.
You know, you go to Haida Gwaii, there's Haida still there, but the island was known as the Queen Charlotte Islands.
Yeah.
Now it's back to Haida Gwaii.
Oh, that's good.
And now they self-govern there, which is very interesting. But you know, when you go there, there's a guy right at the ferry dock in Port Hardy, right? And he's like, "Passport, please." For real, driver's license, please. Right now, you're not getting on the ferry. They want to make sure that you're from Canada. They want to make sure that how long you're staying in Haida Gwaii, and it's quite controlled, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like that in England. If you go to the Channel Islands off the coast of France, they really control who goes to those islands.
Yeah. They here it's a lot of the big tree companies. They logged Haida Gwaii. There's very little old growth there, very little, if any. Only 1% of old growth, and that's hard to believe, is left in British Columbia.
We got down to 7% in my county, from 1900 to 7%, and now we're back up to 20ish.
Well, the natives buried their dead in the trees here, hey?
Yeah.
And nobody had any respect for that. They cut it down. So you can be walking along and you can find stuff, hey? I never touched anything. I was just like, Jesus. But you know where that was, like you know, they had little spears made from like a sea animal that for halibut fishing. And they had their own little personal stuff, right? And it was totally disrespectful to do that, you know. See you, Franny. We practice arrow flying carp here. Arrowing. Sometimes baseball bat. Oops. Yeah. I'm going to grab another coffee. Looks like Dave's probably got coffee too. Mona Moments. Hey, how's it going, Mona? Bug tussler. Good morning. Happy Earth Day. Oh, yeah. I can't give you a wrench there, Mona, because I'm on StreamYards. Oops. We practicing arrow flying carp here. Nice.
Yeah, I was trying to find my collection of arrowheads and stuff that we picked up along the fields here, but now everything has been stripped with a bulldozer, and
Yeah.
you don't
Well,
find it anymore.
here you rarely find any artifacts, rarely, unless you go to the res or go to where the old villages are. I know where there's a few villages, and
Yeah,
it's interesting. You can still see some of the old totem poles and stuff. It's really weird. Or you see where they channeled salmon that would come up a stream. And they would
yeah.
channel it. The salmon would have to go right close to the bank and then go around the rock, right? So you're right there, bang, or hook. I think there was a hook.
Well, just
It's,
to the west of me was like a rock formation on the side of the gravel, and that's where there's a lot of flint and stuff. And the native people would come up the streams, and then up top of me is the main path to Detroit from Point Pelee to Detroit. So as kids, we used to hoe fields, and it's like, oh look, an arrowhead.
yeah, it's nice to find stuff like that. I kind of feel bad for the original owner, though.
Yeah, no, there was like when there was native sacred places, people stayed away from them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
respect. Yeah. Uh-oh, Dave
Oh,
Knight.
wife's phone.
Mm. Oh, you have your own phone?
No, the phone's ringing. The wife's got it now. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I was going to lose you.
no,
I have people coming from Ontario out here in August, hey,
yeah,
relatives.
you never
And
know. I might make it out there someday, Howie.
well, you're more than welcome here. There's a spare room in the back, and I'll take you up along the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the great thing about my van, I can just park it anywhere. I don't care.
yeah,
Walmart
there's
if I
big driveway out there.
have to.
You'd like some of the old growth forests they have here.
Yeah.
It'd just blow your mind to walk
See
through
it
them.
before it's gone.
Yeah. Mona Miller, you got to wave, Mona. There you go. Hello, Mona. Good to see you.
I'll wait. Oh, just a minute. Let me lower my YouTube volume.
We see you.
Hello,
Yeah,
my dear. Hello.
Happy Earth Day.
Oh, yes. I've got to leave here in 10 minutes, but I wanted to invite you to come to Branson for our Patriot Rally. We're having a big Patriot Rally May 2nd through the 5th. And
where's that at?
I need 10 more people. I rented a big house that sleeps 24 people.
Oh, wow.
And it's from the 2nd through the 5th. It's 3 days and 3 nights.
What's that for, Mona?
Huh?
What's that for?
That's our Veterans Patriot Rally. It's a kickoff Veterans Military Month.
Very cool. Very
okay.
Cool. Yeah.
They're going to be having all kinds of things to kick off the first National Military Appreciation Month.
Wonderful.
And then next year, we're going to be planning for the 250th birthday of America for our big rally and parade for next year. So we're all getting together in this big house.
Nice.
And I don't know where you can stay in Branson for $100 for 3 days and 3 nights, and all the meals are included.
That's in Ontario?
No.
Branson, Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Sorry. I'm sorry. No. Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm short 10 people to get the house for $100 per person.
Wow.
Okay? And
unfortunately, I am nowhere near there.
But maybe some of your listeners are.
Maybe. Well, this is Earth Day, and a lot of people show up today for. I'm going to be pretty much on and off all day, so you're more than welcome to leave. Come on and leave a message of that nature.
I'm going to leave my phone number in the private chat. Okay, anyone can have this number.
Sure.
Because it's public. It's a public number.
And I like supporting service members. So that's one thing I do like to do, because these guys, once they're out of the military, there's not much for them,
Well, the thing is that Branson heals PTSD. And I know I've been the morale officer here for going on 25 years.
Right. It said
And
it went to private chat, the message that you just put in. It didn't go into, you'd
no,
have to go back to where you go back out and then put it in there if you want, because I don't use the private chat there, Mona. You'd have to go
okay.
back out and then put it into the chat out there. Okay.
All right, I will do that.
Yeah, I saw it on the
already did. I
Oh,
think I
you did,
already
Dave?
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, dang it.
What were we
So
talking about?
I'll tell you what. I'll contact you later. Uh,
Sure.
I don't know what's happened here. I've got noise coming in here, and I don't know why.
Well, well, you, you can figure it out and put it into the chat. When you go back out, like when you come off this screen, you'll be back out into the regular chat, and then you can put it there for people to read it that are in Branson, Missouri, you said?
Yes, we're going to be. It's the Highland House, but the number is 417. For
Yeah.
those who want to write down, 239-4320. That is my flip phone. That's not connected to the internet or nothing, so you can call me on it anytime. But
Wonderful.
we would love to have folks come out for this event, and then we're going to be
Great.
working on next year's event, which is going to be really big. So
Good luck to you, Mona. Take
Good
it
luck, Mona.
easy. Good luck on all that. I wish you the best. And please, when you go out, please put that number, if you wish, into the chat out here so everybody can see it.
I will. I will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Earth Howie. I love you.
See you,
Bless your
sweetheart. Bye.
searching, honey.
Oh, that's a good quest she's on.
Yeah,
It's,
well,
it's tough on service members when they
veterans,
come
I
out.
know my grandfather and uncles. I saw what.
Yeah, it's tough on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But I wish her all the best on it. But yeah, the villages here is there's a lot of old villages, but you need a boat to get to them. See, now along the West Coast Trail here, you'll bump into people that still maintain their residence at the village, and it's bloody beautiful to see. For $5, man, you eat some pretty good crab dinner when you're not allowed to have a crab, that but they are, right? So you have this big crab feast for $25. I always give $25. I don't know why, but now they've closed part of the trail because of the bridges washed out. And I thought, you know what, that wouldn't stop me. I'd crawl across that river.
yeah.
Too. But I don't know if you've ever been on the West Coast at all here.
No, Manitoba is about as far as I've been west.
You got to get out and enjoy the place, Dave.
Yeah.
You'd love it. I know you like nature and stuff, and the salmon season starting in about a month here, and that runs right into late November.
I'd be a residence. I'd have to get another tag for it, probably.
Yeah, it's like $30 for a fishing license here. It's well worth it. I mean, you got to pay $100 to buy the salmon, or do you want a $30 and try your luck?
Oh,
right?
Costco.
But when you buy when you buy the ocean license, they ask you if you want a salmon tag. You always say yes, I do. It's like $10 or whatever. Yeah. It's not that much money. But then there's also, if you fish the freshwater here, you got to have the freshwater license, and that runs you about $30. But the thing is, if you're spending a month here and you're traveling around here, and all that water is there, and there's right teeming full of trout and fish, it's really nice to have some pans, in the pan there, and a little bit of butter and pepper in the morning. I love it. And but see, as it warms up here, the fish don't taste so good in the lake.
Yeah, I know. It's always in the spring. It's the best.
Yeah, but some of these lakes are fed from the mountains, so it's always cold.
Yeah,
like they got this thing called the kokanee fish here. It's landlocked salmon, and they're delicious all year round. and they're not very big though. They're only like a pounders or maybe 2 pounders. You'd be lucky to get one like that. You save money by not having to buy the fish. You just get the license. It's and you know what? It's as soon as they see that you have the license, next you're just waved through. They don't even check you or anything. You know.
I go fishing for salmon at Costco. It's always same price, same weight.
Yeah. I rarely buy fish from a store, but I will if I'm super hungry. I buy my albacore wild tuna from the store. I'll buy that because I eat it raw. I mean, a lot of people don't eat raw fish, but I'll sit there and eat a whole loin, whole tuna albacore loin. Oh, hell yeah. I don't
like
that.
sushi and stuff, but my wife, she will never touch it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's more for you.
Yeah.
but here, people like to buy ham or pork and beef and chicken because they're so kind of sick of eating salmon. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just bring it over here. So my family's friends and stuff all send me salmon every year. They all like, oh yeah, here's the salmon for Howie, because I'll send back zucchinis or whatever the hell I got, you know. And I can go and get a truckload of salmon. That's easy. You just go up island and sit on the netting day, and they'll give you a truckload. They'll give it to you for free. Anybody with a truck. I mean, the seiner come in, the entire village gets fish, right? And I'm related to a bunch of people that have status and stuff, but I don't do that anymore. I used to. I'd go get a truckload of sockeyes.
He shouldn't abuse it, but
well, I shared with my village, right? Everybody shares here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not now there are abuses that go on. Like 2 years ago, they found someone dumping all the salmon right onto the road. I'm like that's just sickening. And anyway, we got together and we put them into the creek where there was no salmon, to put that scent in there, like the dyeing, and put them all along the creek. Well, geez, you guess what happened? All these salmon showed up because of the scent.
Yeah.
You see? There were chums. But I love chum fresh or smoked. I don't like them frozen or anything like that because they're really heavily oily, and it just doesn't cut it for me. Now, if you're going to freeze a chum, freeze it whole with the gut in it. And I'll tell you, it's just like the day you took in any salmon, you freeze it whole. Like instead of cutting it all up and packaging it, the First Nations here will just freeze them whole. And wrap it in a garbage bag, put it in, they'll stack it in the freezer and then take one out. Very, very tasty. Like it's pretty much the best that you can get at that, because it's left in its own package.
Yeah.
It's no air getting at it and stuff like that.
They take the guts out?
I'm sorry?
They gut it before they freeze it?
No.
Oh, just guts and everything, huh?
Everything gets frozen. And I do that still today.
Oh.
I put the chum or whatever salmon I've got, I put it into a garbage bag. I wrap the garbage bag and I just put it in. And on my channel, actually, you can see me thawing one and gutting it. And it's as fresh as the day it went in there. That slime, the scales, everything, that protects the meat inside. There's no way for air to get at it and freeze it.
Dry out.
No. So I put up, you can go on my YouTube channel and Freezing Fish Whole, it's called. And
there's Bill from Newfoundland Drone Productions.
Oh, good stuff. Happy Earth Day, Bill. Bill's a great guy. I love his videos of his drone. Some of the places that he's gone to, I've been. There. Oh yeah. I like to travel, but when I'm not well, I don't like to travel. I make big plans to go traveling, but it's, I've got some comorbidities that it's beating me down quite a bit, but I fight back as much as I can. I pretty much gave up smoking my salmon. I'm on an oxygen machine now. At night for 12 hours a day, I'm on a machine that pumps air into my bloody lung. I have a big tear in my lung. I don't know how I got that. But then this breathing problem, I forget to breathe. So I wake up and a big breath of air. Hey, enjoy your youth while you have
That's
it.
why I'm going to travel now while I can. Because
Yes, do it while you can. I can travel. I've got a tank coming this week. It goes onto like a dolly.
yeah,
So and when I start running out of air, my body doesn't have oxygen. What happens is that it starts to move. Everything in the landscape starts to move, and then you just fall over until you build up some more
yeah, I
oxygen.
went through that with my mother. She had low oxygen and all that.
So how'd she make out?
About 2 years, and then she went in the hospital and never came out. So I had to do all that with her. So
Jesus, Dave, that doesn't sound promising.
well, that was her case anyway. So
Yeah, I've been hospitalized for it, and yeah. Well, the big problem was the vasodilation wasn't happening with my heart because there just wasn't any nitric oxide and there was no oxygen, nothing in my blood. And it was rough, man. It's not so bad now that I have that oxygen machine. It's not so bad now. I get a good night's. I get my
you get a good
circadian
night's
rhythm.
sleep, and you're not like getting up and you're like,
Yeah, that's rough when that happens. And
Yeah.
you get up, you don't even know your own name, man. You
Yeah.
don't know where you are. You don't know. All you're doing when you wake up, you're gasping for air. You don't know
Yeah.
anything else. There's nothing
And you
else.
get gray. My mother was getting gray before the machine, and
You're scaring the crap out of me.
well, I don't know. That was her case, and I had to look after him for 5 years. So
Well, you're a good man, Mr. Knight. You're a good man. You know, a lot of people don't do that. You're a good man. I'll give you some kudos for and an accolade for looking after.
well, their wish is to keep them in their house, and I did right to the end.
Yeah.
So
Your cat just walked by. Your white cat.
yeah, my little one.
Yeah. You have more than one?
Yeah, I have a black one and a white one. One's a blue Russian and one's a white one. We just found him out back. He was a little tiny, fit in the palm of your hand, crying 3-4 days, about 3 weeks old. And we cleaned him up and saved him.
Well, all I got to do is go out back, cry outside your place, and you'll look after me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No holds barred with Dave. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you get it straight up there.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a stand-up guy. Yeah. I'm impressed with your scruple and couth, because a lot of people don't look after their loved ones. They put them in a home, or
Well,
they show up after they're dead and grab the house or something. I see a lot of that.
my brother, he'd come down when it's time for a check, but
Yeah.
he'd be texting me, giving me orders, and oh yeah, money distribution day, I'll be down.
Yeah. I seen a lot of that when my sister died. My brother died. You should have seen the vultures. One guy, a lawyer, went up and he put big locks and chains on everything for the people that had investments. You couldn't get on the property. Oh, they had a guy standing out there from the security service or wherever, AMCO or wherever. And I'm like, what the hell? This is my brother's pad. But no, he's dead. Now everything comes out of the woodwork that wants the cash.
Oh, I know. I went through that. Everybody figured they're entitled to everything, and it's like, we decide that, not you. So
Yeah. Wild Edibles is thinking about where she wants to grow older. She's going to be selling off her property, it looks like. Have your own place is a bit of a burden, but guess what? Not having it is a bigger burden, because you got to deal with someone else now.
Well, my neighbors are in their 80s, and they're selling their place and moving to like a semi-supervised thing. So
right, the old guy across the street there.
Yeah, next door. He's got 2 or 3 acres to mow, and I always did his driveway in the winter. So
that was nice of you. That was nice of you. We got an old guy that went to the hospital 5 months ago. He hasn't been back, eh?
Yeah.
and his son's giving away everything. So I offered him for the old pickup. It's a '79 Ford, like pretty much brand new.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, and I offered him $3,000. He didn't think that was a very good offer. I thought it was a $1,000 above, but he's like, no, it's a vintage. I don't even have
Oh,
to pay full insurance.
my old Camino's a '78, and wherever I go, oh, nice car, I'll give you $2,000. Yeah, well,
Yeah, right. So I offered him three for it, and he wasn't very happy. He was very unhappy.
well,
And I'm like, well, that's as much as I can afford to give you for the
yeah.
truck. I mean, I can give you more, but then I'm taking a chance. And it is in extremely good shape. So it's probably worth about 4 to 45. But I thought I'd start at 3 and he'd jack me up to maybe 5 even. He
I
just absolutely refused.
My dad's truck, Ford truck F-150 in 1977, was like under $6,000 new.
You know, you go buy a vehicle right now, and it doesn't matter if it's a million years old, it's going to cost you a fortune.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. Vehicles have gone up in price since the big virus hit us.
Oh yeah.
Everything went up, everything, and nothing's going down.
I'll
Gold hit
never,
3,500 yesterday,
yeah.
according to Nate, that the Canadian prepper there. He was one of the very first people, like years and years ago, to sign up to my channel. He was one of the very first people.
Oh,
He's an interesting character. You ever watch any of his
yeah,
videos?
he gets a little off the road for me
He
though.
gets a little intense,
Yeah.
and he gets off the road. You're right.
There's being prepared, but then there's the extreme. So
Well, he gave up smoking weed, hey, so he's gone a little weird.
yeah.
But he's got a good heart. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, there's a lot worse than him out there. But
oh
you're
yeah.
right, he is off the track a little sometimes. But he gets into his World War III and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so now when I see it, I don't go and watch it so much because it's like, you know, constantly talking about something that never happens. But he's a really good guy, so I like that, and he's trying to make a go of it. So
I'm really amazed what's happened since Trump, Trump took office. All of a sudden, we're the enemy. I was like, okay, where'd that come from?
well, the thing is, that's all the programming that he gives out,
Yeah.
and I mean, Canadians mostly are very polite and good people. Like Bill, there, I'm in that situation now. My mom had a stroke at Christmas. Now looking after her a bit, she can still look after herself a bit. You know, we all look after our neighbors here in Canada. Most of us. You know, I mean, there's always going to be a nut job somewhere. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, the big cities not so much, but in the country anyway.
Well, yeah, downtown, nobody gives a rat's ass about
No.
a dead guy on the street.
You go downtown Toronto, people just walk by somebody that dropped dead.
Yeah. Hey there, Zardos. How you doing there? Good to see you. He lives over on the mainland in Abbotsford, or he might have moved. Yeah, but I noticed that too in the rural area. You're much more likely to have, you know, more compassion for somebody. Like I could walk downtown today, like walk around downtown and find a dead guy. That happens every freaking day.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2-3 times a day that happens. And it's scary as hell. And it's always someone that's not working, that's homeless, that's dead on the sidewalk. We had over 1,000 people dying last year. This year we're already over 1,000. It's only the 7th month in or 6 months in to the year or whatever it is. I don't know.
Windsor, Ontario's getting more like that because right across the river from Detroit, there's always a spillover of everything. And same with downtown Detroit, man. There's like,
yeah, I feel that it's orchestrated. That's my feeling. I believe that it's orchestrated because for the simple fact that it's gone on so long, and when it showed up like about 10, 12 years ago, they had this policeman from Victoria, and he was smiling that the drug was here. I'm like, what the you're smiling? And it was on our local news, and I never ever did anything about it. But, you know, it's I've had family members of my own, one of my own kids die of an overdose. So when I seen that smile, I thought, you need to come down to the woodshed for a bit. I don't like drugs. I don't mind a weed or a bottle of beer or wine or something, but anything else, I'm not a fan of. I mean,
Nope. I
no.
worked with people in the city that they had problems like that, and they ended up croaking. And yeah, I've seen it all.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's orchestrated. Hey, if we could stop yellow cake coming from Chad in our ports, why can't we stop meth from fentanyl from coming and going?
Well, we don't make it here, so it's coming from somewhere.
You're darn tootin' it is. And that was one of the things that Trumpy kind of says, oh, if you stop that, well, big bullshit. It's coming from your country to here, you dumbass.
Well, around here, there's so many coming across the border.
Here, too.
Toronto is like, the Dodge City on a Saturday night. Shoot them up.
Here, that's called Wally.
Okay.
It's called Wally near Surrey. You go stand at the bus stop, you'll hear gunshots.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Not so much anymore. Now they've got all these cameras in the street lamps and drones and cameras on buildings and stuff. So it's really, really tough to do a drive-by here. You don't see that very often here.
Hey, I'm all for border control,
Well, I'm for border control, patrol, whatever, but also I am for open border as long as you can get in a lane and have a special card saying you're not a nut job carrying machine guns. Okay.
Well, here, like I'm 20 minutes to Detroit. I could go watch a Red Wings or a Tigers game, but who knows? All of a sudden you got something on your phone in your ICE detention center. Yeah, I'll stay at home, watch it on TV.
Man, that's something. Hey, here you can go and buy anything you want if you go to the certain part of town.
Yeah,
and it's weird because it'll be the industrial part, and there'll be like a garage door open, and it'll be all dark inside. The guy will be waving you to come in. Hey, the fuck that? I would never go in there. Not without some buddies with some pretty damn good backup. I wouldn't go in there. But you see little girls going in there, little boys and shit, coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. I mean, we had a drug house right next to the school for 20 years. I mean, gun battles and freaking smash up derbies and cops smashing them. This went on for years and years and years and years. Okay? It's like, every time I ever walked by the place, I had my A game on, man. Holy Jesus Murphy. Then down at the end of this street, we had a meth lab blow up and burn everybody. And that twit, I didn't know that was in there. The guy that owned the house. So you lying bastard. You come and go from there every freaking day. You didn't know, right? But anyway, it was just, and that twit, I had a couple of runs in with that twit. And I don't like that guy at all. He knows it too. He avoids me because I don't care. I don't care about shit like that. I hate that type of thing.
As long as he crosses the street when he sees you.
Oh, yeah, he gets the hell out of my way. Oh, yeah, because I walk with a big stick. You know what he did? You know what that little bastard did? He has a snowblower, and he makes money from the snowblower, right? So he come and he snowblow and broke my freaking window. Everywhere else around here, he didn't snowblow and smash a window, but my place. Because I gave him shit for painting the house next door with a sprayer, and the paint went onto my smoked salmon and on my fruit. And I mean, I just tear a strip off him, and every freaking time is, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you spray it at your house where you grow food? Oh, I'm sorry, you're eating it. Why aren't you spraying snow at all the other houses and breaking windows? Because you don't like, I don't like you, right? So now he doesn't come here at all. And I told the lady that she hired him over the years to come and go. She goes, oh, he works here for free. I'm like, bullshit. It's your employee. You might pay him. He pays no taxes. I mean, I don't give a shit. But she totally like abandoned him once he broke the window. and he did it not once, not twice, but 3 times that in a row. I felt it hitting the house. I'm like, what the hell is that? Right. And there's a big rumble. He just went up and down the driveway and shot her all into my window, busted my window. I'll tell you, he ran, he dragged his, he took off in a big hurt. But people that don't, take responsibility, they'll always go, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Well, you'll know when I'm chasing after you. You're going to know then. But when the house blew up down on the bottom of the street there, and he told I knew the fire chief and stuff. I looked after his mama and stuff, and his exact words was, "Oh, I didn't know." Yeah, you did. You did know. And there was lawsuits flying back and forth because people got seriously burned, man. Like seriously, like some people lost vision, some people lost like 3 layers of skin and shit like that. And oh, I didn't know. Well, bullshit. And he doesn't even come to this neighborhood. He avoids this neighborhood. Like I watch out for him with my camera. If I see him, I'm right out there. Are you burning down any houses or breaking windows or painting the people's garden? What are you doing right in front of anybody? I don't give a shit. I seen him at the farmer's stand. He sees me, he goes. I said, that's right. You get going now. But he'll never learn. He'll never learn. He's married to this lady from another country, and she's the harshest person I've ever met. Like, Jesus, she's harsh, and she tells him what to do. So that the reason why that they were doing that down at the end of the street. And the weird thing was, after the lawsuits were all settled, and there was a lot of money going back and forth, his insurance paid because I didn't know. Yeah. Jesus, Murphy, dude. Well, everybody knows who you are now. Oh, John went up for that. Sorry, what?
My insurance rates went up because of people like that.
Oh, sure. Of course. I pay huge insurance here.
Yeah, I got mine. I was shocked this year too.
Oh yeah. The only thing is I don't use the wood stove, so they knocked off $300.
Yeah.
And there's no need for wood stove here when I have natural gas, I have electric heat. There's no need for a wood stove. If anything happened where I didn't have natural gas and I didn't have electricity, I'm going to fire up the wood stove.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're burning wood here, it's frowned upon because the smoke goes on the house next door.
Yeah, well, I got some space around me. I still use mine in the garage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the old guy that went to the hospital a few months ago, he had a drip feed oil. He'd get used oil from crappy tire and stuff, and he'd drip feed with a blower on it. And I'll tell you, you'd smell that burning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember the days when people heated with coal, that smell on a cold night.
Yep. I remember. I did that. I had to go down and feed the furnace for the boiler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was only 7 years old, but you had long chunks of wood. My dad got a furnace from the old mine, and he built his house. He put it underneath the house. I'll tell you, it was really warm there. I'll tell you, that house when it was going, it's like. But if it wasn't, I mean, it was 40 below back then. I mean, it doesn't get that cold anymore. But
all the greenhouses here was all heated with coal years ago. When they used to bring it from Pennsylvania across the lake.
Wow, hey, that must have worked good though.
Yeah, well, that's why everybody had boilers, because you can't control it, so you got to make steam. No, the new greenhouses, they go with a lower temperature, natural gas. So
right,
180, you don't have to use as much energy to boil the water. It's more efficient.
Yeah. Here, I think there's one wood stove store left out of all of them that were here.
Oh.
And when they build a new house, they don't give you a permit for the wood stove.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're controlling it that way. So it's been weeding them out over there. And then you have to pay this exorbitant extra price on your insurance now if you want to burn wood, right? And hey, make it by Mandy's here. I pay around $850 a year for tenants insurance. It is high because I do use my wood stove. Laugh out loud. To get approved for insurance was difficult. Had to provide all sorts of documents and photos. Oh yeah,
Yeah, you have to get it inspected and all this stuff.
yeah. Wood heat will never go out of demand because there will always be a demand for wood heat. I mean, it's as simple as that. You can't get away. You go outside of this city here, and everybody's got wood heat.
Yeah.
But in the big city, you don't have wood heat anymore. You have, and the worst thing is they promoted that everybody get a natural gas furnace. Okay, so everybody ran out and got one. Okay, so now guess what they're promoting?
Heat pumps.
Yeah. We'll give you $10,000 for your $2,000 heat pump. What? Yeah, and same with windows. We'll give you 90 grand to replace all the windows in your house. Since when the hell did windows cost 90 grand for a house?
I replaced my own. I just bought the windows, and they weren't that much.
No, they go through the neighborhood and they convinced all the old people, oh yeah, you should get yourself new double pane windows. Well, Jesus, by the time they're done paying it off, they'll be 196 years old. And like the old gal down the road, her husband was my mentor, $80,000 for a dozen windows.
Well, yeah, like 30 years ago, I got a quote for $15,000. And then I went over and got the windows. It was like $2,000 worth of windows. They were going to charge me 15 grand for it. So, like, nah, I'll do it myself.
But they got a scam going on, Dave. They got a scam where the government says, okay, it's part of the energy efficiency and stuff. So they jack up this huge number, which is inflated. So it obviously the bureaucrat that's doing that with the company, it's all orchestrated. Like you said, put your own windows in.
If there's a solar incentive, I can just go to a place. I can buy the panels for $200 a piece and do it myself, and save like 20 grand.
Wild Edible said, but this year the chimney needs to be replaced and the rotted wall fixed and roof around it. Big expensive job that needs to be, or no fire next winter. Yeah. You know what? When you own your own home, you're constantly doing something. Constantly, and that's just the way it is. If you're renting, then you call the landlord, and then the landlord goes, "F you, I'm not doing it." Okay. Yeah, so you have a slum landlord, and that happens a lot here, especially on outside communities. Like, what a difference! Like when you're in the city, it's all controlled by the bylaw officer. As soon as you get outside of the city, there's no bylaw. You're unincorporated. It's like, oh, okay. So you'll see refrigerators on the side of the road to just total junk everywhere. It's a big difference. People are selling their places a lot now, and it is cleaned up compared to like 20 years ago. It's actually, I shouldn't complain too much. It's a lot better. Mandy says, my landlord has the chimney cleaned and inspected every year because of her insurance. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Grow Big TV. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's a good guy. Good guy. Yeah. But it's Earth Day, and I've got some bulbs to plant, and I've got some people here. I'm looking at people. They're all running around in the backyard there. They're doing their thing and stuff.
I got to go do my thing too, Howie. So.
Yeah. Dave Knight, pleasure always.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Yep. Happy Earth Day, Dave. Yep. Good seeing you. There you go. That was Dave Knight. Grow Big TV. Well, it's Earth Day. I've been on here coming up. I'm going to be on for another couple of minutes. If you got something to say, happy Earth Day, everyone. I am going back live again from the food forest. I'm doing a plant. I have a couple of people here. And then there's some more people coming this afternoon. But by noon, I'm going to be at another food forest and a community food forest. I'm going to do a couple of videos. But I am going live again here. And I hope to see you all. come back and enjoy yourself here. I'll be live from my food forest, and I'm just planting more bulbs into the flower ground. I grew a lot of flowers this year. No salmon flowers though, not yet. I got one. Awesome day, Earth Day. Earth Day is the best. May it be Earth Day every day where you are. Blessings to everybody. And you have been keeping me entertained while I work. I will watch for your notification. Hugs all. You too. See you, John Rock. See you, Mandy. See you, Wild Edibles. And I'm going to town there, Wild. So you take care, everyone. And it's good to see you. And I will be going live today a couple more times. I have some things I have to go and do. I've got people here at 6:30 in the morning. So take care. Blessings to everybody. And get out there and plant a tree. Cheers. Hey, Sardos. Yeah, good to see you there. Hugs, buddy. Yeah, you too. Take care. Much love, mad respect. End stream now.